So for our achievement, we chose the iPhone, and for our ethical disaster, we chose the de Gaulle Airport. So the iPhone was first revealed in 2007 by Steve Jobs. However, the first iPhone wasn't very successful due to its extreme price. For people found that it was way too expensive and it was slow. However, the second iPhone that came out in 2009 held a lot more success as it revealed 3G, which made the phone a lot faster. It also held the App Store, which allowed people to do a lot more on their phones than they ever thought possible. And it was a lot cheaper and more accessible to a civilian customer. The iPhone was compared to a handheld computer, which was revolutionary at the time. It could process a lot, and while still being able to do the necessary things such as calls and text messages. Some impacts of the iPhone have been social media, which have had a positive and negative results, such as mental health, decreasing, but also more accessibility of what's going on around the world in different states. Some major concerns that people have had resulting with the iPhone are tracking, such as the government being able to look through people's phone calls and text messages. And people are also very worried about their iPhone always watching them. However, if that's justified, I guess we'll never really know.
For the engineering of the iPhone and how it works, it utilizes a revolutionary multi-touch screen that has a coordinate grid capacitance system to detect multiple fingers at once. This is what sets the iPhone apart from the rest at the time of its unveilment. Its processors, it contains an A-series phone chips and various other processors and co-processors to complete tasks and calculations. As far as storage goes, it utilizes NAND storage as its primary source of memory. Size can range from as little as 4 gigabytes to over 256 gigabytes and even larger in modern models. NAND is a form of flash memory that is dense enough to be put in a confined area. This is all powered by a lithium-ion battery, and that size can vary depending on the model. Its initial models used a fingerprint scanner as initial form of security. It would just save a memory of your fingerprint and allow only that person to access the phone. Modern models employ facial recognition that utilizes a neural engine, neural network, and flood illuminator via its camera for facial recognition software. This is to ensure that anybody who is similar face or close to yours cannot get into your phone due to the complex details that the software contains. For our engineering achievement criteria and justification, we felt that accessibility, cost, reusability, longevity/reliability, and safety impact are large areas that must be touched. Accessibility, the engineering achievement must be widely accessible in all or most areas of society, ranging from location to economic status. Cost, we felt that our engineering achievement must be appropriately priced for or cost a reasonable amount justifiable for its outcome. Reusability, we felt that our achievement must not be a one and done deal and is hyper reusable. For longevity/reliability, our achievement must be resistant to wear and tear and must maintain its maximum or close to its maximum efficiency over a long period of time with regular use. For safety impact, safety being a large foundation of engineering itself and the ethics that surround it, we felt that the engineering achievement must largely impact the safety of society in a positive way. The iPhone facilitates this by offering a revolutionary way of telecommunication to enhance transmission between the professional and civilian world.
In the early morning hours of May 23, 2004, the roof of newly opened Terminal 2E at Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport collapsed near Gate 50E, leading to the collapse of 30-meter roof section of the terminal, killing about 4 people and 3 others were injured. The French architect Paul Andrieux was the person in charge for the design of all terminals on the airport. However, when designing Terminal 2E, Andrieux used the same principles from his previous experience when he was designing the French-English Channel Tunnel back in 1994.
The Administration Investigation Committee investigated this disaster and has found that it was due to a number of reasons. one of them being the lack of structural design and construction, and then they also found that the stresses and efforts calculated during the design phase was inaccurate. They also found that the load applied at the ultimate limit state was 4.5 times greater than the maximum permissible state. The structure also had low resistance to temperature. A day before the incident, the temperature outside went from 20 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius, which resulted in the structure materials weakening. It also consisted of elliptical concrete shell and tensile reinforcement. Tensile reinforcement was ineffective due to the shape of the structure. The calculated tensile used exceeded the strength of concrete used in the structure.
This failure affected the image of the French civil engineering and led to significant financial losses. This disaster has so many impacts on different aspects. Socially, people were terrified of the accident as there were 4 people killed during this disaster. Economically, the French court found that the Paris airport operators guilty and have them pay the maximum fine of 225,000 euros, while the construction company which built the glass concrete roof at Terminal 2E were ordered to pay fines of 100 to 150,000 euros. The terminal was then reopened in 2008 with a rebuild cost of about 150 million euros.
A lot of the causes of disasters could have been prevented if the ethics were followed. The first ethic violated would be the top image on the right. All engineers shall hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public. The engineers did not conduct a reliability assessment, which was not having the public safety in priority. And there was also inadequate modeling from the design process, and they failed to take into account the needed materials and the long-term strains of those materials, which also put the public safety in question. The external reinforcements also was chosen based on aesthetic appeal and not the technical properties, which I feel is a violation in the ethic on the right bottom, which was engineers shall perform services only in the areas of their competence.
We think that every new engineer should know about this disaster because of the bad design used when constructing the building. The accuracy when building a new structure is very important as it saves a huge amount of time, money, and labor. Reliability is also a concern because structural failure can result in injury or loss of life, in addition to significant financial costs. And we can all see that these criteria has not been followed correctly, as the building collapsed just after 1 year of completion.
It's also important to note this as an ethical disaster due to just the randomness of the event. Imagine yourself, you had just gone on a beautiful vacation to Paris and you're catching your flight back home when all of a sudden the ground beneath you shakes and just falls out from under you, resulting in either a loss of life or extreme injury in an unknown location. That would be completely random and uncalled for, which just shows how important it is to know this event.